No, it is not a dream. Liam Rosenior is the Chelsea manager, and the only person that is worth talking to now is Matisse. Matisse, you are the governor here. You are the man to talk to here.
Thank you.
Your coverage of this entire escapade has been sensational. It genuinely has. I've thoroughly enjoyed your content. I think this is quite an interesting debate, you and I, because I hope I'm wrong. I generally, when you argue with someone, right, your approach to the argument is that you are correct. My approach to the argument is I really hope I'm wrong, because I've been saying that this is a terrible day for Chelsea. It symbolises an end of who we once were. I think I said that the announcement wasn't necessarily an announcement of a new manager. It was an announcement that Chelsea are no longer a serious football club. Does any of that chime with the way that you see the situation, or can you find the positives in the Liam Rosenior appointment at Stamford Bridge?
It's not an appointment. It's a handing over of the baton. It's a manager that didn't have to interview for the job because they already interviewed him before for a different job that they took him out of and replaced him into.
But
into
these
this
are
one.
terrible words. Are they not? I'm like, in my head I'm just going, he's a company man, which is terrible.
It's a reality of the situation. Once you sign under that Blue Co model and you sign that contract, you could be dispersed or moved into any club or any, part of the pitch or whatever, they see fit. And the bigger that this multi-club model grows, what's dawned upon me is the more they're going to be able to negotiate with themselves between players, managers, and continue to keep moving the pieces of the puzzle around as they see fit for their own potential financial gains, whatever it may be. When it comes to him as an individual, I want to get behind him because, he's South London, he's up and coming. He does have potential. Everybody speaks glowingly of him outside of Blue Co, outside of himself. Like people that have spoke to him, interviewed him, they say, he's got potential. So did Maresca when he came in from Leicester. It's a very similar appointment in terms of you got a bit of Strasbourg, credentials there. You haven't won anything. You're not a Chelsea elite level option, but we don't go for those options anymore. Those options actually outrightly reject us because they don't want to work under this model with the restrictions, with the kind of law and order, micromanagement.
These permutations, these brackets that managers at Chelsea are supposed to work in now. Yeah. It's so unappealing to anyone with any foothold in the game.
Any salt. And anyone that comes in, like Liam is coming in currently, who will just do as he's told and maybe will just fall in line. If you do gain and get a taste for any winning mentality in silverware, as Maresca did, your mentality as any human in any sport that is achieving and trying to strive for the best, which is what sport is about, which these owners don't really tend to understand, you're going to change your mentality and your mindset because that's going to change within the fan base. They're going to ask more of you to win bigger and better trophies, and you've got to shift with them or you're not a Chelsea man. And if you do that, you'll fall out with the board. And if you don't do that, you'll fall out with the fans. It is an impossible job. So this is not a good appointment, and I don't see positives in it because I know what it is. He's the face of Blue Co right now, and he is literally just a puppet and a pawn. And
that's a shame. Because you're right, but you know what you said? You said you like him. You've got the South London links. You think that he's a manager on it, and all of that I agree with. But you know what he's going to become at Stamford Bridge? He's going to become the public face of Blue Co. Yeah. Because we can't boo Winstanley. How can you possibly? How could you possibly in a stadium? You don't know who he is. You don't know where he sits. You don't know if he's there. The public face of the project becomes Liam Rosenior. Yeah. And I think that in itself is a disgrace. Like realistically now, out of respect for Liam Rosenior, you know what should happen? These sporting directors need to be public facing. Yeah. They need to speak to the media, speak to the fans, speak to the press, and tell us exactly what they think. Yeah. We heard too much from Maresca, but we certainly didn't hear enough from Winstanley and Stewart. Yeah. They hid behind.
Absolutely.
So
it's like having a supply teacher, and that's just temporary. Replacement bus service. That's what this is. This is this is not the main man. This is not this is not the person that will be responsible for the for the difference between Chelsea being an elite level club again and an absolute disgrace of a version of themselves, a disgraceful version of themselves. He is literally just there to front it and face it, and he'll make his little tweaks and his little changes and whatnot, but we know that there's influence behind him. From a transfer perspective, the directors are 100% in control of that and running the show there. But even in briefings from reports, we're seeing team selection potentially or minutes allocated to certain players because obviously promises to agencies and agencies that have the same agencies as the directors.
Rotation. And that's being implemented by the sporting directors and not the manager. Like that You know when Cole Palmer was taken off in that Bournemouth game and he was fuming and the fans were fuming and there was a few chances of you don't know what you're doing to Maresca. I think that was a moment where he was like, no, I do know what I'm doing. I don't want to do this.
But the medical team,
I am the public face I'm the public face of this project, and I'm getting it. Like, my reputation now is suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to happen to Liam Rosenior massively.
And when you try and take credit for winning the trophies, they say no, it's not about you, it's about us. But when you're losing,
it's a manager.
When you're losing, it's not a together. You know,
no. You don't collectively fall. Do
collective,
you? No. You don't collectively fall.
But the directors and the owners at this point, they're just as responsible for the results, for the recruitment, for the assemblement of the squad, and even, it seems, the ideology. They should be doing post-match press conferences and being accountable for the highs and the lows if that's what they want to do.
Because also their job is to bring in top-tier players, right? Players that will ultimately become, they're not world-class, but they will become world-class. That's the brief.
Yeah.
You need to go and spend 40 million quid on Cole Palmer and turn him into one of the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. And fair play, you did that with Cole Palmer. Yeah. So, tick. You didn't do it with Dario Sugo. You didn't do it with David Washington.
Yeah.
You didn't do it with David Datro Fofana. Like, how many Datro Fofanas are there for one Moises Caicedo?
Yeah. So
at what point does it not become about the manager? Like, we need to hear about the sporting directors that are making these failing decisions.
Mm. There's no accountability at Chelsea at the top. That's the problem. There's no responsibility taken. There's no every time a report goes out, it is about public image. It's about PR. It's about making sure that the narrative can be spinned. You look at the way Maresca left the club and the amount of kind of briefings and reports that went out to kind of almost tarnish his name with Chelsea supporters to try and paint a different, brush.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And why was that done? As a diversion, because it takes away from the sole and most important issue here. And that's what a new appointment does. And I'm starting to think that Chelsea are purposefully almost, and I don't like to do conspiracy theories, but it is a continuous pattern that we see, that Chelsea are constantly hiring and firing managers and are having an overturn of high volume of players on purpose, because every time a new manager comes in, Rory, or a new player comes in, it's a start, it's a new beginning. And then the expectations have to lower because we have to give time and patience. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well then we have to back him because he's new, and we can't say Rosenior out from the get, because that's not fair to him.
Yeah. They make kind of gaslight us to be wrong, and you're like, wait, we're not wrong. We're right.
That's exactly what they want.
And do you know what, mate? I'm glad that you said it. You know when you went, I don't want to go down a conspiracy route.
Yeah.
Do you know why I'm really happy to hear you say that? Because I'm doing that, and I'm like, I don't want to go down a conspiracy route, but do you know where I had the telly on, and I don't even care calling him out. Do you know that Carvey at Sky? Carvey.
Yeah.
I'm listening to him speak.
He's
right?
bought. I think he's bought.
Mate, I couldn't believe it. I honestly,
don't care about the
I was listening, and I was like, this could have been written for you by Todd Bowley. You are literally, like, I'm a fan of the club, and I genuinely feel like I understand Chelsea, and like, just as you do, and I understand the club, and I know what the players are like. I know who's good on, and I've watched them all my life. And I'm listening to this bloke speak, and I was like, "That's not true. Like, that's not true. I'm not going mental. That you're gaslighting me. You're saying it, and you're kind of clever. Yeah. You're presenting it as a fact. You're presenting your opinion or your version as a fact." And I'm like, no. And they did this to us before. Do you know when I really noticed it? Whatever you thought of the debate between, say Conor Gallagher and Dewsbury Hall, or
Trevor
Chalobah, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Chalobah went to Palace, and they had to row back on it, but Chalobah went to Palace. There was like press briefings, and there were like good, reputable reporters writing articles telling me that Tosin Adarabioyo was a better player, and I was like, but he's not, is it?
Disasi's better.
Yeah, Disasi's better.
Yeah.
Disasi's better. Yeah, Benoit Badiashile's better. I'm like, No, I swear, I'm not insane. Yeah, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall is a better player than Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
No, he isn't.
Yeah.
What is going on?
They are evil geniuses, because what they've done is they've tapped in, and this happened at loads of clubs, but our club is it's been done on such a level I've never seen before. They've tapped into English football, and English football is at the heart and soul of the working class people, and they love it so dearly. And there's so many things going on in the world in terms of, you know, mental health, cost of living crisis. People look to this game and to this club for an escape. People go to Stamford Bridge for an escape from maybe potentially what's going on in their lives, or to share that experience with their dad, or share that experience with their
it's a rite of passage for some people when they're following their club.
Yeah, they just love it so much that they just can't get enough of it, and the emotional roller coaster it takes you on.
But you can't turn your back on them, and that's why they've got you over a barrel.
And if we were in the Championship, we'd still be talking about
it. Still be going, right, and this is a bit again where they get you. The fans that we're talking about here are the fans, and you can live anywhere in the world for this to apply to you, right? Yeah. But they rather sneerily labelled fans that are dedicated and loyal and tribal and in their very essence will back anything Chelsea. They labelled them as like derogatorily as legacy fans, like as a disrespect. And you're like, no, your project is propped up by fans that go to Stamford Bridge, fans that watch on the telly at 2:00 in the morning. Yep. Your entire project is reliant upon them. Yeah. And yet you don't seem to back them. Like, you know, this is happening now, right? Let's discuss this. Do you know the whole thing? And I don't know where I sit, but my stepdad who took me to football, right? The reason I'm a Chelsea fan. If he heard what I'm about to say, he'd be livid. He would say, and I was brought up like this, anyone in a Chelsea shirt, they give you, you're full. Yeah, right? Yeah. Anyone in the Chelsea touchline, you're full.
Absolutely, yeah.
I, rightly or wrongly now, I don't always feel like that. So I didn't particularly like Sarri. During the Benitez era was an era when I was going to football a lot. Yeah. I boycotted a lot. I went to the Glory once. I went to Amsterdam and whatever. But I came out of Sean Wright Phillips done us, played for QPR. They beat us 1-0. And I came out of that game, I didn't go for a bit. Yeah. I was just like, I hate Benitez. I hate that they appointed him. Yeah. It doesn't feel like my club anymore. I'm just not in this. I can't feel like I'm meant to feel. And until Benitez is gone, I'm not there. So what we're supposed to do, and like I say, my dad would just be livid. You back anyone in a Chelsea shirt. Now it gets complex because Liam Rosenior, through no fault of his own, is Blueco. He is the public face of Blueco. He is a company man. He's in the job because he will conform to the constraints that are put upon him by Todd Bowley.
He's literally here because he has to be here. They didn't even ask him, do you want the job?
No.
It wasn't a question.
No.
It's
yeah, we'll give you a big pay rise. You get to live in London.
Or not. We might not give you a pay rise. Yeah. But what are you going to do about it? We'll just sack you at Strasbourg if you don't take this offer. So. Yeah.
Who's right? My dad or me? Do you have to always back everyone in a Chelsea shirt regardless of anything?
One thing I'll never do is tell Chelsea fans what to do, because I feel like everybody has their own way of supporting. And
just your vision.
But for me, it's becoming increasingly difficult to not look at certain figures and know exactly what they stand for and mean, and still 100% get behind them. Yeah, I'm always geared more of like I'm in it for 100% football, 100% dopamine, 100% moments, 100% memories, 100% winning mentality, like trying to be the best you can be in your own institution, which is what every club should be trying to do. Yes, you get a bit of help with a bit of money, a bit of ownership, whatever, but you're trying to it's about sport. Sport is about winning, trying to be the best you can be. We've gone into such a corporate, PR-y, company, business, and I get it, it's modern day football, but the split is not how it should be. Our split is so far that way. Yeah. It doesn't feel like at times it's always football. It's not. It's a company at this point. And because of the badge, you back the badge. Yeah. But the badge...
But they're not backing the badge in the way that the badge is...
The people behind the badge who are employed behind the badge are not thinking about the badge. They're not interested in that.
It's forcing us as football fans into such a corner.
Yeah, it is.
Like, do you know what? There was a quote. Jose Feliciano, who's a co-owner of Blueco, therefore, obviously, by extrapolate, he's a co-owner of Chelsea. Yeah. This Feliciano, there's a quote where he says that what he's trying to build is a profitable business.
Yes.
And the way that you build a profitable business is almost incidental of what happens on the pitch.
That's why they said Brighton. Regardless of what happens on the pitch, the turnover is high.
And they make loads of money.
They could have mentioned anyone else, like a team that wins, but they didn't. They mentioned Brighton and the Leipzig model. These models don't win trophies.
No, they make money. Yeah. And this is this problem that I am facing with all of this model, everything. I can't back Blueco.
Yeah. No.
I can't support
the intentions
Blueco.
are not pure.
No. No, they're actually malevolent. Like what they're trying. Like,
it's a dictatorship.
They're actually malevolent. Yeah, yeah, and they're so open about what they're trying to do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't even pay us the courtesy of lying to us. they just completely disrespect our club, our history, everything.
Do you know what they told us from the beginning, and a lot of us, including me, didn't really quite hear them correctly.
Right.
I was like, wait, what?
They did.
And then when you go back, you're like, oh no, they actually said this from the get-go. We just didn't really listen.
Do you know, it's crazy. It's crazy how they've got away with it. Do you know what I don't think and again, I'm going to go conspiracy. I'm sorry.
No,
I
go for it.
don't know if this is set me mad.
Go for it.
I'm going conspiracy theorist again. Why does nobody talk about what's actually happening? Like, the links between Todd Boehly and a third-party ticket touting website is absolutely batshit bonkers.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Right?
Yeah.
Our owner is an owner of a third-party ticket touting website that touts at Chelsea.
Yeah. Literally goes against the policies that we have in place.
So in my head, right, that should be an expose from one of the biggest journalists... someone,
the FA,
a major writer. The FA should be getting involved, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that Carve should be doing a huge expose. This is like mental.
But why isn't he?
Like, I remember in a far smaller way. John Terry was apparently doing tickets at one point, right? Giving away a few tickets here and there. Apparently when he was at Chelsea, right? Apparently. And that was like massive news. That was like, I think he was allowing people to tour the training ground and maybe like making money. And it was like massive news.
The credibility in journalism is pretty much almost dead.
But when you say that, you do potentially suffer from people going, oh yeah, he's blaming the media again. You know, it's like, but I know I'm right. Do you know where I get it?
Yeah.
Do you know, rather than calling us Chelsea FC, which is who we are, it's the least controversial thing.
CFC London.
LDN, CFC LDN.
Yeah.
I think there is like a sinister
plot
to rebrand.
Yeah, I really pray that is not the case, but why is it everywhere, you know?
Because we own the pitch.
When you have, exactly.
Because we own the pitch.
When you have questions and doubts about so many, why don't we have a front of shirt sponsor? And then when we talk about the protest...
You've got a theory for that. I don't actually have a clue.
That for me is mentally insane. Everything else checks out for a consortium and for a company and Clear Lake Capital and trying to, you know, make profits on.
But why do they not
Why would
have...
you willingly lose money every single game by not having a company in that slot that across all top 4 divisions? Everyone has one. I said it. AFTV had Wash and Go.
Yeah.
When they were doing Blood Brothers, what is going on there?
I did a Huel video. Do you know what I mean?
So, I've got sponsors.
What a Huel video. I did a Huel video.
Get brand deals. How can they not? But they just fired their head of business. They replaced him. We still don't have one. But they keep saying they're trying to negotiate a really high offer. But as you're doing
you're losing money.
You're losing money. So you're going to have to recuperate that. Plus the gate receipts are lower because the stadium's smaller.
But then you put the ticket prices up.
And then you put the
ticket prices up.
But then also...
we don't need it for the shirts. Don't worry about that.
We don't need
your
money.
Season ticket, though.
Yeah.
Your season ticket
you're going to pay more.
But
then at the same time, it's like, we aren't guaranteed to make Champions League. So the negotiation that you were doing when we were world champions, you're undoing as we're falling down the table.
Yeah, our stock has never been lower.
Our
stock, like, if you want to sponsor Chelsea now... You get it for a pack of fags.
But these things don't make sense.
It just doesn't make sense.
And this is, we come on to the protest, right? 17th of January, before Brentford.
Yeah.
1 p.m.
This is an interesting
1 p.m, that's when it starts.
Yeah.
Last season, no shame in admitting, I wasn't on board with it because I didn't feel like it was planned or prepped prior to it happening as well as it needed to be. And I've done a protest before and it was on Ricketts. And I started that, organised that, and marketed that as best as I could. The amount of effort and time that is needed to get your message across, market it properly, and get people on side and get people out is really difficult. Now, it's got nothing to do with influence on social media, right? Yeah. Let's get that out of the way. Chelsea have one of the oldest average
season ticket holders.
Season ticket holders, and I can assure you, they're not watching. Most of them, me and Rory,
no, they won't know who we are.
They won't know who we are.
They might know us from going to the games, right? But they literally don't know what you do for a living.
So when we look at the Super League protests, a lot of those guys that go to the games were at that, and they did an incredible job.
At that Super League, was so effective.
It's unbelievable.
Because it was the day of a game.
Yeah.
And it was the day of a game.
An evening night game, wasn't it?
It was the day of a game.
I think it was Monday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the day of a game. And I remember at that protest, I knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, for these things to really matter, if you and I were genuinely, regardless of our and this entire video, you and I have been in basically
limbo.
certainly that, but also agreement in terms of the club being in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
it's actually impossible for you and I to start a protest. In terms of volume.
I don't feel like people get that because they'll see the social media followings and they'll see the subscribers. But I actually have the analytics and I can go down and see which percentages from the UK and I can see which percentages of what age. And I can actually really crunch the numbers and actually know and be humble enough to understand what my influence actually is. Yeah. And I know the influence that, say, CFC Fanzine, their influence
CFC,
at the ground is massive.
Yeah, CFC UK.
And I've said it before, it's not necessarily the message, it's the messenger.
Yeah.
And the same words can come out of my mouth and it can come out of the mouth of someone who's gone for 40 odd years and knows everyone at the ground and just got way more stock in that community than me, and it will bang. And I don't want to come off as negative, or not negative, but I don't want to come off as like I'm trying to deter people, because I don't want to do that. Last season I did that a little bit because I didn't really think it was planned or prepped. This season it looks like more planned and prepped.
Will you go to this?
I will go to this, and I want it to bang. I want it to do so well, because although it's not the only thing Chelsea fans need to do, I don't want to deter or dishearten anyone from doing it, because now we actually have to believe that we can make change. If we're going to say nothing's going to change anyway, nothing's going to happen anyway, why is there any point in trying? If human civilization did that on all accounts across governments,
no. You stand up.
You can't have that mindset. It's actually the complete wrong mindset. I just pray that the people are organising it, running it and starting it are really doing their due diligence, researching how do protests work, really marketing on Facebook, not just Twitter. People think Twitter's the be all and end all. Facebook, do you know how many people on Facebook? You gotta make posters, you gotta get it out. And the other thing that people have to do, which I can't, and again, I'll never tell Chelsea fans what to do, and it's cost of living crisis and people go with their family and it means a lot to them, to expect people to scan that ticket and turn around and walk the other way.
Wild.
As much as it needs to be done, it's
Mate,
almost,
it's impossible.
it's like
it's also
the tickets are 60 quid.
It's such a blind...
and then to go sit in the pub, like that is mental.
Like, do you know what you possibly do? You could possibly maneuver people, galvanise people, to do that once. But what you can't expect people to do is to effectively pay £60 a week, travel to the ground. Not everyone lives in. Not easy for everyone. Yeah, travel.
Scan it so you don't lose it.
And leave.
Yeah.
It's such a...
Because you've got to scan it or you're going to lose the season and they'll sell it on.
Do you know the other thing, what we really don't want to do with that kind of suggestion?
Yeah.
What we don't want to do is drive a wedge between... Like, fans really need to be united here. And if you start saying, you need to do this, what could happen is fans that don't do that, you don't want to look down on that. So, if Chelsea score a goal and there's fans in the background, you don't want to look at them and go, you scabs.
Before, we weren't going and we were scabs.
Yeah.
We weren't proper Chelsea. But now I can sit and say, I've been protesting for 3 years. I've not been going to any blue coat games. You cheats. You know what I'm saying? Like, you enablers. No, I'm not going to do that. And this is the thing. This is what companies and governments and people and high power do. They conquer, they disperse, destroy and conquer the community. What they do is they make you pick fights and make you hate each other and argue with each other.
Fans are moaning at the match goers.
You divide and conquer. Yeah. And when I see other people, content creators and Chelsea fans, arguing amongst each other, you're not proper Chelsea, you didn't do this, you went to the game but you left 10 minutes before, your seat's empty, let me take a picture. You're not, you went, you didn't. What are you doing? What difference do you think you're making? Do you think you're helping the situation by splitting people, dividing people? All you can do is give your opinion, articulate it, pray that people maybe agree or want to come towards that direction. Some people are going to learn about this as I did, not learn, but going to get more angry about Blue Co now. Some people were doing it last year. Some people are going to do it next year. There's nothing you can do. It's a global fan base, millions of people. You cannot just expect everybody to just do that. No. It's just not going to happen.
Also, as soon as you start winning games, there's a lot of our support now that's fair weather. Yeah, there's a lot of people because of the marketing of Chelsea Football Club. Yeah. There's a lot of people in the stadium that have no idea what we're talking about.
Facts.
Like basically the West Stand top 2 tiers. Above, like West lower, fine. Yeah. Anything above that, it's corporate.
Just got a drink with my mates. I've gone to the game. We won. We didn't. Who gives a damn? I'm going home.
So they're going to be in the ground anyway.
Yeah. There was a time where I was a Chelsea fan. I didn't know anything about anything above what happened on the pitch. I knew the players, the shirt numbers, the manager, and that was it. It was such an easy life. Now I know that agencies are shared with directors, players, and that influences who signs who and whose minutes is allocated here for contracts for millions and millions of pounds. It's terrible to know these things.
What about just from a footballing perspective here, Matisse? Let's naturally, we're desperate to see Chelsea win games of football. We have a huge semi-final coming up against Arsenal in the League Cup. When I was a kid, one of my best ever memories going to Stamford Bridge, honestly, it was similar to this. It was Vialli's first game as manager. We played Arsenal in the second leg of League Cup semi-final. We ended up winning the competition. We beat Arsenal 3-1 at home. Di Matteo scored one of the best goals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we were losing from the first leg, and we beat them, and it was a new manager. And the famous story, Dan Petrescu told it, that Vialli's first game, we're playing Arsenal, we're losing, they're the best team in the country. Can we knock them out of the semi-final? It's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
And Vialli, in his first game as manager, before the game, he gave everyone a glass of champagne. Like, go out there and enjoy this, man. Yeah. You're playing for Chelsea. You're playing in front of Stamford Bridge faithful. You're playing a London derby in a semi-final. Wembley is the prize. Drink that. Seize the day, man. Get out. And I was like, I love this. You know, I was like, oh my God. Like, I remember just thinking,
Liam Rosenior has the potential to make you feel like that in the way that he articulates himself, he speaks, and that's the problem.
Is there a world... Can we, like, let's look at the football, right?
Yeah. So
it's first game Charlton. Let's do one thing. Charlton, do we beat Charlton?
We have to. I mean, going out to Charlton, FA Cup first crack at the whip it would be diabolical.
Beyond that, aspirations for the season?
I'm all on the cups. Yeah. For me, with Chelsea, it's always
1997 all over again. We're a great cup team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we have enough quality in the team for people to dream. We have enough quality in the team for people to hope. And I think that's also on purpose. They haven't not signed any good players. Or we have Reece James, we have Cole Palmer, we have Caicedo, and that's enough for people to gravitate to and to cling to.
Do you think they benefit from this move? Like, what are there any players that you think will benefit from
Andre Santos?
Yeah, he looked good.
Former
he looked
Strasbourg.
good when he came on again. When McFarlane brought him on.
Yeah, I've always rated him. At Strasbourg, he was brilliant, and he worked under Liam Rosenior, so he knows him incredibly well. And it's all about the cups. The league for me, I know the top four thing has become a thing now, but I don't celebrate Champions League qualification. It's all about silverware. I love the FA Cup, Lampard left foot long shot against Everton, Drogba, even the Carabao Cup before the Carling Cup or whatever it was before that. Yeah. Like, you know, Mourinho's first trophy, Joe Cole, like all these guys saying just how much it meant to them. Gerrard's own goal, Millennium State, trophies. Our Wembley record is shocking at the moment. I want that rectified. Yeah. And dare I say it, because I'm an idiot, I still think about the first star.
You're gonna say.
So it's like, I don't think we have the quality to be anywhere near like favourites or top 3 or 4. But it's a knockout competition. That's what we can do. So
I just want the cups, bro. This is great for me. Like, by osmosis, I need to feel like this, because you know all I've done. Like, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about the French league, right? Yeah. But I had like a look at the French league, and I was like, I don't know much about Lens. But they're top of the league, and they spent half of what Strasbourg. Strasbourg spent more than anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're 7th in the league. They haven't won for 5.
Yeah. They're going through the same Christmas capitulation we had. Yeah. They were second behind PSG.
Were they?
And we were second behind Arsenal. And then over Christmas and the winter, bang, just dropped, and it's just capitulation. But that's what we do as well.
I just can't believe it. Matisse, it's always a joy to speak to you about football, man. Always a joy. There you have it. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Wild goings on at Chelsea. Always a joy to talk to Matisse about it. Make sure that you click the link in the description below. You will find a link to Matisse's channel there. Make sure that you subscribe. Fantastic Chelsea content waiting for you. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Ta-da.